All right. Well, I will try this and we'll see how it turns out. So, I wanted to. I think I'm going to make a couple different videos. Just this one is going to be mostly the basics. Just like I don't have like a bunch of time to watch all your videos, so just give me the very, very basics of everything in order to do video conferencing, or not video conferencing, but like be able to have my kids connect okay and make sure everything is good and have the, and now I'm talking like best possible quality available to you with what you have versus maybe going out and buying a couple things. I know people are thinking about, well, do I need anything? Do I need any like products? Do I need any different items? What should I get? What should I purchase? So, in a nutshell, if you are looking to do video conferencing and you want to get the best quality that you can, there's a couple things that you want to do. First of all, even though they all have the call by phone, you've got to get away from that. There's so many issues that happen with calling by phone. For one, it's pretty terrible audio quality. For two, a lot of people tend to use speakerphone, and it kills the audio quality for everybody involved. So try to avoid calling in unless you call in and you put everything on mute and you just have it as a backup in case you disconnect. So you don't use it for audio. You just have it connected in case your system disconnects and people are starting to wonder what's going on. Now, that being said, you also have to turn the audio off as well. So my recommendation, call on the phone, and then when you get connected, put it on mute and don't have it on speakerphone. Just have it off to the side. So don't use the phone to try to conference with people. There's also a delay that happens too. The next thing is wired is your friend. I know we live in a day and age where everything is wireless and it just makes it so easy. But what they don't tell you is that when you have you've probably seen it in the Zoom meetings and the Skype and things like that. And these can happen anyway, but they get worse when you're connected via wireless, where you have they'll stop and you have to resync everything. That's usually because of some kind of latency in the connection. And if you want to avoid latency, then you want to have everything connected via wire. It's not the prettiest, but if you're setting somebody up for school that they're doing every day, or if you're teleconferencing with somebody every day, then you need to connect to your computer directly to your router using a network cable. If you don't know what a network cable is, look it up. It's pretty easy to find. Now, again, if you don't have any ability to do that, and it's really easy, you just connect the cable to your router. That's all you have to do, and then turn off your wireless, or your Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi, your wireless, the same thing. And even if you just do that for the video conferencing, but then the rest of the day you have the computer wireless, that's fine. Just make sure you turn the Wi-Fi back on. But yeah, you want to try to connect it what we call hardline, or connect it via a network cable. Now, if your laptop does not have a network connector on it, then you can buy little adapters if you want. But at that point, you may just want to be like, okay, well, I can't do that. It's fine. It's not going to be the worst thing in the world, but it does help you some. Connecting via the network cable is one of the better ways to get that proper, that better bandwidth. You get better bandwidth, basically, upload and download when you're using the network cable versus the Wi-Fi. And it also helps to isolate your device versus all the other computers on the network. A lot of people don't know this, but if you have several devices all connected to Wi-Fi. Let's say you have a 10-year-old computer hooked up to the Wi-Fi, and you have a brand new MacBook or whatever that you have connected to the Wi-Fi. What a lot of people don't realize is that your network tries to remain compatible with all of those devices. In order to do that, actually, is to slow the speed of your network connection down to the lowest common denominator, which would be that 10-year-old computer. So you might buy a brand new computer, but if you have your old devices connected to your Wi-Fi, it's going to drop your network speed down to whatever is compatible with that lower level or that older device. And the advances that they've made in Wi-Fi over the past couple of years have been pretty amazing. So just keep that in mind. That's why connecting it via network cable, you don't do any of that. You just hook it in, turn off your Wi-Fi on your computer, and you're good to go. Not on your router, just your computer. So that's really one of the best things. I would recommend that for people who are doing this like every day. I've got to connect. I've got to do teleconferencing every single day. Set yourself up a desk next to your router or whatever, and do your work that way. The next thing is your headphones. A lot of people will be like, oh, well, I don't want to have wires, so I'm going to get a Bluetooth. Bluetooth, even today, is still crap, with the exception of Apple's, and I'm not like an Apple diehard fan. I just look at the technology, and so Apple, like the Apple phone, like the iPhone, and the Beats or the Apple's Bluetooth devices, they have a special chip. It's a special Wi-Fi chip that uses a proprietary connection, and that's why a lot of people will say, oh, well, my AirPods and my phone just have no issues, and they're right in that, because they have a proprietary connection that's like kind of better. It's basically better than Bluetooth, but it's not Bluetooth. A lot of times they'll say, oh, it's Bluetooth. It's not actually Bluetooth. It's a special proprietary connectivity, and it's much more powerful. The main issue with Bluetooth is that it only transmits, the radio frequency of Bluetooth only transmits at 1 watt. 1 watt. So that's for those uninitiated, that's very, very, very low power. And so that's why you can walk out of a room and you start to have, it starts to click out. The other thing that we're working about too is again, latency. If you're wireless, you have latency between the device sending the signal and your device receiving it, and then your device having to send it over the network and then to the client, or to the conference. So again, my recommendation, get yourself a nice pair, or get yourself a pair of wired headphones with a microphone. And the cool thing is that some people are like, well, I don't really want to wear these big giant headphones on my head. I was actually looking at it yesterday on Staples. There's a lot of different styles that are wired that you can get. They have the one with just the one headphone, and then the other is just a clip. They also have the earbud style. You might actually have earbud styles. Like a lot of times people have them left over from phones that they purchased. Those are fully compatible with plugging into your computer and using. But what you will have to keep in mind, and this is something I might put in my other video about the microphone connections, is that sometimes those combination earbuds and microphones, they have one jack, and that one jack is for both their headphones and their audio. And if your laptop or whatever you're using doesn't have that, then you have to split it. And there is a splitter that you can purchase where it's one, and then it goes into a microphone and a headphone. But again, if you have to look at what you have. If you have a laptop that has 2 jacks, one for a microphone and one for a headphone set, then you want to get a headphone set with a microphone that has those 2. If you have a laptop that just has one headphone jack, then it's probably a headphone and microphone jack. Now, if you want to avoid all of that, then you can also get, they also have USB headphone sets. So it actually connects via a USB port, and you plug it in to the USB, and it gives you a microphone and headphones. And those are really nice as well. So it's not pretty, it's not futuristic, but it gives you the best quality that you can possibly come up with, is having your computer connected to your router directly using a network cable, and then having a headphone set connected directly to or having headphones with a microphone, or separate. You can buy a separate microphone and you can buy a set of phones, or there's a lot of different options. You can use, if you have like a laptop, a lot of laptops have a microphone built in. You can use that too. It's not usually the best, but you can use that too. But just having headphones really is the main thing. Main reason I say that, speaker phone. Okay, I see it all the time. People connect on their laptops, and they've got the speakers, and the speakers are so close to the microphone. Laptop companies do everything they can to try to avoid that, but it still happens. So it just creates such a reverb, and even if it's working properly, it's still terrible. It just kills the audio quality. I always recommend everybody in the video conference should be using headphones. At the very least, they can use whatever microphone they want, but as long as there's no sound coming into the microphone from the video conference, that's really what kills the audio. That's where you get all that, "I'm sorry, I didn't hear you," or cut in and cut out, or cut in and cut out. Because what's happening is, one of the ways that these developers and these software people and hardware people have come up with how to eliminate the sound that's coming out of the speakers versus the sound that you're saying, is they're doing cancellation. So they are processing the computer software that's running the video conferencing and running the hardware is sitting there and kind of is listening to the sound that's coming into the microphone. And I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but is listening to the microphone, and if it hears reverb, it's trying to kill that. Now, what happens is that a lot of times it can't just kill the reverb, it's also killing your voice. That's why you get those, like, people are talking and they just click out, and then they click back in, because the computer has picked up that not only they're talking, but also there's speakers coming, or there's vocals coming from the laptop, and it's trying to kill that, so that you don't have that reverb, that really loud pitch reverberation that happens. So everybody should have headphones. At the very, very least, if you want to make your experience better, put on headphones. Now, in another video that I do, I'm going to have the ins and outs of headphones, and the ins and outs of, like, the connectors, and how to switch the inputs, and how to how to make sure, because you get that. If you have, like, a laptop, you have a microphone, you plug in this device, and then you have 2, and a lot of times it'll set it to what's called the default, and then you don't know which one that is. They have different names. You don't know what came with your computer, so a lot of times people are switching back and forth from basically the wrong input. It's the same thing that happens with people who can't find what channel, what input their DVD is on. It's the same thing. It's when you plug in 2 microphones, or you have 2 cameras on your computer connected, or you have 2 audio sources, one being the speakers and then the other being the headphone jack. It's just like the inputs on a TV. You have to go to AV1, HDMI1, HDMI2, figure out which one is connected to the right device. After I talk for a little while, I start to get dry. So those are the things. Those are kind of the basics. If you get nothing else from this, wear headphones. Wear headphones. It will make your experience better. It will make everybody else's video conferencing experience better. Wear headphones or wear earbuds or whatever works for you. And again, if you only have Bluetooth, like, and you don't have, and there's a bunch of reasons why you can't have a wired system, then that's fine too. Just in order to get better quality across the board, don't connect and use your laptops or your speakers as your sound. It's very nice. People like to just sit there and be able to just talk to the computer. We're not at that age yet. We're not in the 24th century. We're not in Star Trek yet, unfortunately. I wish we were, but we're not there yet. You can't just hail somebody and have it be perfect audio quality. It's not there yet. We're not there yet. Even with the highest end stuff, you gotta, I just bought a $2,000 MacBook. I should be able to video conference without having a headset. No. It's still that way even today. Just get yourself a set of headphones. Now the cool thing is, if you have the money to spend on something like that, then you can definitely go and get yourself a nice set of the AirPods or whatever, and they sync up great and they're just fantastic. But again, that's more money. So, and I don't want people to have to think that they have to spend a bunch of money. But like, if you can't do anything else, if like bare bones, this is all I've got. I can't do much more. Headphones. You can get headphones for $10. You probably have sets of headphones from old phones that you've gotten, or iPads or iPods or whatever. They sell them in the dollar stores. Little earbuds. Just plug in with the headphone jacket. Whatever works for you. If it's falling apart, whatever, it's gonna make everybody's situation better. Have headphones. Encourage others in your group to have headphones, because the more people in your video conference that have headphones, the less and less of the reverb you're going to get. You basically, you have everybody on headphones. You basically don't have to worry about reverb at all. You don't have to worry a lot about people having those disconnects that happen, those strange disconnects that happen. They still may have some latency issues where they're like, but they're not going to have as many times where they're speaking and you can't hear them because it's not trying to cancel that reverb. So headphones. I'm going to do another video, maybe trying to get into a little bit more about connectivity, how to do some of these things. I'm going to do a video, and I'm going to do a video on how to switch the inputs. I'll do that at some point soon. But this was just your basics, if you can't do anything else. So that's it.